Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Now That You Mention It podcast with Roll, Jay, and RJ.
I'm Roll.
Yeah, and Avada Kedavra, I'm Jay.
And I'm RJ. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is to you all. We hope that it was another great week for you all. And thank you for choosing to give us some of your time. This is going to be our Halloween edition of the podcast. As you can see, we're all dressed up and kind of getting in the mood in this new COVID world. But before we get settled in, let's talk about how you can find us. So, if you're dialed in on YouTube, please click the like button, subscribe, and click the bell to get notifications so that when new content drops, you'll be one of the first to get notified. You can find us on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And then if you want to follow us for more silly adventures that we do on our social media, all you got to do is type in the Now That You Mention It podcast on our platforms for Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit. Good evening, guys.
Hey, happy Halloween to everybody. We're hoping you guys kind of watch this on our Halloween edition. And we have a lot of fun with it. My wife is a very big fan of Halloween, and so I already have my costume picked out. She was kind enough to add the Harry Potter scar, and took me a while to find my Harry Potter glasses. I had to take the lenses out because the light was reflecting off of the ring lights. So I popped the glasses out and had to go outside and find a wand because I lost my wand from last year, so I'm not sure where it is.
And you say Gryffindor?
No, hey, and just so y'all know, this is authentic Gryffindor attire. This is not your cheesy Spirit Halloween store off-brand Harry Potter stuff. I got the good stuff, baby. Official Harry Potter glasses.
That's licensed and everything?
Licensed and everything, baby. Licensed Gryffindor tie. And then my cape's just kind of generic, but that's okay.
Yeah, I guess you can get by with the cape. So what is Roll over there?
Well, first, before we get into my costume, I want to turn on a little bit of Halloween music. And Jay, I'm going to ask you to pull me back for a little bit.
All right.
And when I say, give me about a 5-second count and pull me back in so that RJ can see my costume.
All right, let's do this. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. This what I understand, he's got a couple of costume changes he's going to get for us. So I think he's ready to roll. Let's take a look at his first costume. It took me a minute to get it too, and I was like, "Dude, you're just."
Oh my god!
He's an Apple iPhone.
I'm an Apple iPhone. In case you didn't notice,
I got that one.
That's akin to 3-hole punch Jim from The Office.
So I debated what we wanted to do on this. I know we wanted to have some fun, and I thought, what kind of costume could I do that would be really fun and unique here? So throughout the course of this podcast, I'll have a couple of costume changes that I have pre-programmed, and we'll address those as we get into it. But before we get too far into this, we want to open up the forum to RJ, because apparently he's been bugging us all day about a sports rant.
Yeah, I've been kind of curious to hear about this.
I'm curious to hear about this.
He texted us.
Okay, first, yes, I'll get to that. But before that, I want to give a little PSA to all our listeners. We're starting to get cooler weather, so make sure you've got air in your tires, because you're going to lose some air most likely. Or if you need to get new tires, now's the time to get them, because it's been raining pretty much all week. So you want to make sure you're safe out there on the roads. But that being said, now, and if you need tires, go hit up King Wheel Tire on Hampton and Oak Cliff, or you can follow my friend at Drop300S on Instagram. Just want to give him a quick shout out. Anyways, on to the sports rant. So, I'm sure you both know the Los Angeles Dodgers are World Series champs.
Yeah.
And my sports rant is this. Much to how people like to say, don't bring your politics to California. If you're going to live in Texas, don't bring your fandom of shitty teams to Texas either. That's my sports opinion. If LA was so great, then why did you leave? That's what I got to say. That's the way I see it. So, and then, I don't know. Maybe maybe it's just because the way I was born or the way I was raised, I guess is the correct term. But I'm just a person who, I root for all Dallas teams first and foremost.
But not Houston teams, right?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love Texas. But, at the end of the day, I also don't want to see like Houston or the Spurs win any more championships. But I'm sure there are certain scenarios where I would sacrifice on that. And if they were playing an LA team or Florida team is one of those instances.
Well, as the saying goes, American by birth and Texan by the grace of God.
Yeah.
Amen.
And so what I was going to say is on the other part is if you're wearing a Cowboys jersey and a Stars jersey and a Mavericks jersey, but then you wear a Yankees hat or a Dodgers hat, no, it's just not acceptable by me. It's so weak. It's so weak. These millennials, I tell you my fellow millennials they just don't understand. Something about being a Cowboys fan just makes you strong, I guess.
It's RJ's whole point is you people who walk around repping multiple teams from multiple states. You people are ridiculous, dude. I get it. There are people who are going to root for Yankees and whatever, dude. Come on. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes that dude. They just don't. And for those of you that are buying new sports apparel every few years when y'all get on a hot team,
oh my God, that's the worst too.
Because there were no Astros fans before 2 years ago. That's
the truth.
No, it is because the Astros were horrible, and only through let's say electronic means and that whole trash can incident did they become good.
The Trastros.
Yeah, the Trastros. Again, I love Texas. Texas, by the grace of God, but the only thing great about Houston is I-45 back to Dallas, baby.
Damn.
I love you, Houston. I love you.
No, you don't. Stop lying.
I do love Houston.
No, you don't. You're a liar.
Not better than Dallas. But if Dallas is out, I'll root for Houston. The only team that I don't necessarily ever root for is the San Antonio Spurs. And it's not because I don't like the San Antonio Spurs, because I love Greg Popovich. I have tremendous respect for him.
Yeah.
I have Tim Duncan is like one of the all-time greats. That team. The problem I have is the people from San Antonio, man, they will not. I mean, they got to throw that in your face every single time. And you guys know that I had a flare up with a family friend from San Antonio that, but for the most part.
Well, and I was about to say,
in Houston was in, I'd root for Houston.
I wouldn't. I would wish nothing but
Dang.
bad things on Houston.
I think for me,
that's football. I'm not talking about that.
I think for me, it just depends on who they're going against, right? If it's like a team that, doesn't have a championship either, I'm probably more inclined to root for that team. Like, especially a small market team.
Right. Well, hey guys.
Anyways,
we could spend all day talking about sports because we're huge. Three of us are huge sports fans, but this is our Halloween special. So let's.
That was my sports rant. That's all, because the Dodgers won, and there were a lot of people on my social media platforms, oh, we're Cowboys fans, Mavericks fans, that, and then you're wearing a Dodgers hat. Just I don't know. If and then the ones who live here, is like I said, if LA's so great, then why did you leave? Why did you leave? But
Wow.
anyways,
Their
let
economy sucks.
anyways, let's get on into let's start with your favorite Halloween candies.
Yeah, so we we talked about a couple of different
Topics.
topics for Halloween, and we've been putting out the idea of a monthly or bi-weekly top 5 list, and we figured we'd get the party rolling with our top 5 favorite Halloween candies. Now, I know that there's going to be some controversial entrants on this, and I think I'm gonna get a couple of y'all. RJ, there's going to be some candies I'm going to mention that you have no idea what I'm talking about. It's older crowd, and they really don't give them out anymore. But in the spirit of fair play, we're going to let you go first, RJ.
All right. So, um, I mean, I have a more. I don't know that I would say Halloween candy list, but it's just general top 5 candies. So the only one that I'm gonna rank out of all of these is probably the first one that I'm about to say as number 1 for me. The rest of them, you can put them in whatever order. But number 1 for me is Jolly Ranchers. Jolly Ranchers are my all-time favorite candy. The hard
Really?
ones, yeah, the hard ones. Not, I mean, the gummies and all that stuff. It's okay, but the hard candies are my go-to. And then number 2, or not. This, like I said, these ones aren't in order. Dots. Dots is a great candy. I
Oh, dots
love
are
dots.
awesome, dude. I love
Yes.
dots. Dots are great.
That was one of my favorite candies when going trick or treating, and you pull that out of the basket. Oh
And
man,
that's a good one because you can only get dots around Halloween. You can never really find them, throughout the rest of the year.
Thank God.
Um, they come in those variety packs. But I'm
yeah.
like you, RJ. I'm a big fan of dots. Now, Jolly Ranchers are a little controversial for me because the only use that I ever had for Jolly Ranchers was to drop them into a Zima back in the day.
Oh my
Uh,
god,
but other than that, yeah, Jolly Ranchers just don't do it for me, pal. But I'm with you
man.
on the dots. Dots are awesome.
Okay, all right, good to hear. At least one fan of dots here.
What's number?
Um, Butterfinger. Man, I love me some Butterfinger. It's a good candy. Something about the crunchiness, but
Yeah.
also the kind of that flakiness. Even though it makes a mess, I don't know. Just it's
Yeah,
not like other
it's hard to eat a
chocolates.
Butterfinger and not have crumbs all over the place.
Yeah, that's the
Uh,
only bad side.
it's kind of like eating a Chico stick. Chico sticks are kind of in the
Yeah.
same
Category. Yeah.
category. You take a bite and they kind of crumble all over the place. Or, for Hispanics, marzipan is another
Oh
one.
God, yes,
Man, you can make a mess with a marzipan, and it's just not.
easily.
Yeah. So
Why
what's
just for Hispanics, man?
Huh?
Everybody eats marzipan.
Yeah, I don't know anybody other than Hispanic people who ever eat marzipan.
I mean,
I've yet
yeah,
to meet one.
All right.
I ate marzipan,
All of
but
our
anyway.
viewers out there, if you're not Latino and you like marzipan,
Make a comment.
Yeah, let me hear from you because I like to meet y'all.
Show Jay. He doesn't know what. Okay. Anyway.
All right. Anyways, the next one would be the Sour Punch straws. Those were such a great candy as well. Especially, I remember as a kid getting Slurpees at 7-Eleven and then getting those and using them as a straw. It's so great. Probably wasn't good for my health, but
None of this is good for your health, kid.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. And then last but certainly not least, Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, and really the only time that I eat Reese's peanut butter cups are 2 times a year, and it's usually around Easter when the
Christmas.
Easter egg shaped ones come out, and around Halloween when they do the individual cups.
Oh,
I,
gotcha.
if I don't know. For me, it's kind of weird because as I've grown over the years, I've kind of lost my affinity and likeness for chocolate. I don't eat near as much chocolate as I used to as a kid. And usually when I do find myself going for a piece of candy, it's something with some fruit flavor to it,
Yeah.
So it's a little weird for me that I don't eat chocolate well, I don't eat as much candy as I used to as a kid. None of us do. But I'm not a big fan of just grabbing a chocolate bar on the way out of the grocery store or anything. So I really don't eat Reese's peanut butter cups that much, but a couple of times a year, and it's usually around this time. But that's a good list. You got
That's yeah.
good all
That's
around candies.
I'm with yeah. Before we switch, I'm with you on the chocolate thing. I'm not the biggest chocolate fan. Like if we were to do a top 10, I bet you those would probably Whoppers would be the only other chocolate I would add in. The rest would be more fruity things, like you were saying.
See
So
Whoppers. You know, the only time that I eat Whoppers is when I go to the movies. That's weird. That's really the only time that I'll have Whoppers ever.
well,
But
anyways, that's my
Roland,
list.
let's hear your list. I'm kind of curious about to see
No,
if
no,
any
no,
of.
no, no. Do your list. I'm going to do
Okay.
mine last because I got my first. Let's see. Take what do you call? I'm going to do my first costume change when I introduce my list.
Okay.
So go.
All right. So mine are ranked.
Okay.
And I did these in kind of order because I went with the theme and went with Halloween candies. So before I start on my top five, I'm going to throw a bonus kind of honorable mention for candies, Halloween candies. And RJ, I don't know if you know what these are. I know Roland, you remember them. It's those little taffies that used to come in the orange and black wrappers,
Yeah.
like maple nut or whatever
Yeah,
they were.
Kind of like saltwater tappies. You can
Yeah,
get
kind of like taffy. That
State
gets my
Fair.
honorable mention. And the only
Yeah.
time that I ever see those are around Halloween. And even now, though, Halloween's nowadays, I really don't even see those candies anymore. Anyway, they're really hard to find. But my top five, and this is going from 5 to 1. My number 5 favorite candy around at Halloween is the Sixlets. So Sixlets, that come in those little packages of clear plastic six, and they're the little candy chocolate BBs covered in
Hence
different
the
colors.
name.
Huh? Yeah. And they're not called Sixlets because they come in packages of 6. They used to come in packages of 9. They're called
Really?
Sixlets because you could get 6 for a penny.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they were
I did
called
not know
Sixlets.
that.
Back in the day, you could get 6 of them for a penny, 6 packs for a penny. So that's why they're called
Poor
Sixlets.
kids candy.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It was a poor kid's candy. But the only time I ever see Sixlets is at Halloween. You cannot find them anywhere. I mean, unless you're going to go looking on Amazon or their internet or somewhere for them, you just don't see them anywhere. I don't see Sixlets sold anywhere in the general public. I mean, I've seen them on Amazon, like I said, and you can get them, I guess, in a couple of specialty candy stores, but you just don't see them around. Okay. My number 4 favorite Halloween candy are the individual or 2-pack Starbursts. Those are my favorites because there's always a surprise. Or, it's going to be either you're going to
Be very
it's kind of like
or very disappointed.
yeah, because it's kind of like winning the lotto when you get a double pack of strawberry, a double pack of cherry. But man, it's like that wah 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 when you open and there's 2 lemons in there. That sucks, dude. When you open a double pack of Starburst and there's 2 lemons in there, I just kind of throw them to the side and check the next pack, see if I get anything in there.
I just want to say
You.
I'm down with all flavors.
Me too.
I am the biggest Starburst snob, man. I have no love for the orange or the lemon Starburst. I just don't. I'm all about the cherry. I'm all about the strawberry. I usually, if I do buy Starburst packs at the store, I'll get the all red pack that has like fruit punch and cherry and some other stuff. I don't know, man. I have no use for the orange or the lemon strawberry or Starburst. But my next favorite Halloween, I guess I kind of put it in the candy category because it's really one that you only ever see around Halloween too. And that's either the caramel or candy apple. Those, I remember as kids, that used to be really the only time that you could get them. I mean, now you can get them year round.
Yeah.
It was either at a fair or carnival or at Halloween. Somebody would individually wrap some caramel apples or some candy apples. And dude, those were the shit, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I remember the greatest thing that ever happened is when they came with the home caramel apple kit. And that was like the innovation of our lifetime when we were kids. Because then you get like the little caramel disc.
Yep.
Right. It came with the little caramel discs and it came with sticks that you put in the apple. You put the disc on and you pop them in the oven and let the caramel melt. That was like the greatest invention of all time.
Yep.
Because that, man, it made caramel apples accessible to everybody. Now, candy apples are a little bit harder to find. You know, you really don't see even around carnivals anymore. I don't see candied apples that much.
I remember carnivals and even the state fair you used to be able to get them.
Yeah, now you can't really find them anywhere. Candied apples are starting to go the way of the dinosaur. I think they're just kind of going away. But I'm a big fan of the candied apple, man. The candied apples were awesome. That red gloss that was on there, and you chew it and you bite into the apple, and it was like the greatest thing ever when you were a kid. And it gets all over your face, and you get all sticky.
And it was particularly good when you got like an apple that was a little bit sour.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
man,
was the best, man.
You would get, you know, the apple, the quality of the apple sometimes also kind of altered the experience. But if you would get a good apple that wasn't like super sour, but just had a tinge of sourness to it, still very sweet, and then the candy, you're absolutely right, man. Some of my fondest memories are when we would go to the fairs and stuff, and I wouldn't like you, man. I couldn't wait till we found the stands that were selling the candied apples.
Yeah. And see, I'm a purist. Okay. So I'm not a big fan of the caramel apple with nuts or peanuts or pecans or whatever they put on them. Just give me straight caramel melted onto the apple and I'm down. I'm good. Okay. My number 2 favorite Halloween candy, like you, RJ, the Reese's peanut butter cup. Because again, that's really the only time that ever eat the Reese's peanut butter cup is, like I said, around Easter when the egg ones come out, the egg shaped ones, and around Halloween when they do the individual wrap. And see, I'm that good uncle. You know, I don't have any kids of my own, but all my nieces and nephews know that around me in Halloween, they have to pay the candy tax, which means I get to go through your bag and I will steal your Reese's peanut butter cups. And I know y'all, my nieces and nephews, and I love y'all. But Uncle Jay's getting the Reese's peanut butter cups, just so y'all know.
I knew there was at least one thing he liked about the Democratic Party.
Oh, Jesus.
That's right. Just like the government, boy. You got to tax it.
Hey, death and taxes, baby. All right.
So
and
what's
my
number
one favorite?
Death, taxes, and the Cowboys losing.
My number 1 all-time favorite.
Oh, you got to go there, man.
Halloween candy. And this is going to draw some big controversy because you're either on one side of the fence or the other. There is no in between with this candy.
All right, let's hear it.
Greatness of the candy corn. The candy corn is awesomeness. You know, when you get the yellow, white, orange, it's artificial, it's waxy, but it's greatness, man. I love candy corns. That's like one of my favorite all-time candies ever, period, end of story. And the only time that I'll ever eat them is around Halloween time. I don't eat them throughout the year, even though nowadays they sell them throughout the year. And at Halloween, I like to go buy the little pumpkin-shaped ones.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, those are the best ones.
Those are the greatest, dude. The pumpkin-shaped ones, when you get the mix of the bag with the pumpkin shape and the candy corns. Now, again, in this, I'm a purist. I don't like those like the brown, the off flavored ones. Those suck. I have no use for those. If I get the mixed bag, I'll pick those out and just kind of throw those away.
What's so funny is
what did brown ever do to you?
Damn. So in our house, you just described what happens whenever Kathy will buy those big bags.
Mixed bags, yeah.
So the first thing to get picked out of all of them are the pumpkins, and everybody does it, right? And then all the candy corns that get, all the brown ones are the ones that are left over. So like sometimes you'll go say, hey, let me go hit up the candy corn stash, and you see it's nothing but a bunch of brown ones in there.
Yeah, and you're done. I'm like,
throw
I don't
away.
You do. You just, they're horrible. They're. I mean, I don't know what psychotic candy executive decided we need to mess with candy corns and mess with the colors and the taste of the candy corn. It was great the way it was. You just need to leave them alone, buddy. The orange, yellow, white candy corn is the greatest. The pumpkin was a later on invention. It came along later on, but the pumpkins are great. And now they even sell whole bags of just the pumpkins.
Yeah,
greatness.
Last year she bought some for me. of just the pumpkins.
Just the pumpkins, because those are greatness.
I was in
But
heaven.
that's my top 5 list, boys.
That's a good list.
And they're all Halloween candies, man. But the candy corn, and we're gonna get some feedback on this one because people are on one side of the fence or the other with candy corns. They either love them or they hate them.
Well,
you know what?
I
was gonna say, people who hate candy corns, y'all have issues. Y'all
okay,
are the
well,
reason why America's falling.
y'all have y'all's quick little side quip there. Take me off screen so I can do my first costume.
All right, but
All right.
what were you gonna say, RJ?
I was just gonna give a couple feedback on your list. I'll go first with the Reese's Pieces. I feel like you're sleeping on the Christmas tree Reese's because those are greatness, man. I don't know what it is about the Christmas tree ones, but also, is it Easter they do the white chocolate Reese's
Dude,
Pieces?
okay, no. I can't get down with none of that white chocolate
Damn.
Reese's with the
You're
other
such a
stuff.
hater.
I am a candy purist, dude. I like candy in its greatest, purest form. Like the original Reese's peanut butter cup, there's nothing wrong with it. Why do you need to trick it up? Why do you need to put Reese's Pieces inside of a Reese's peanut butter cup? Why do you need to add white chocolate? Why do you need to do it? You don't need to trick up the Reese's peanut butter cup, dude. The Reese's peanut butter cup in itself is greatness. It's awesomeness, and just mixing up. I mean, the shapes, that's nothing. You're just making it into a different shape because the egg shaped one at Easter, and it's just a shape, but it's still the Reese's peanut butter cup in its purest form, right? When you start tricking it up by adding cookies and cream Reese's peanut butter cups and putting dark chocolate peanut butter cups and white chocolate, you don't need all that, dude.
Well, I don't know who the hell would eat dark chocolate peanut butter cups, but anyways, my other hot take is green apples are better than red apples.
You like that? You're a big fan of the Granny Smith over the. Yeah, you know what? I'm when it comes to candied apples and caramel apples, to me, it's not so much the apple itself as it is the coating, because I'm not I don't eat a lot of candy throughout the year. I just don't, for personal reasons. But every now and then you like to have a piece of caramel apple, dude. Those growing up were just the greatest, dude. And honestly, to me, it didn't matter if it was caramel on a Granny Smith apple or caramel on a Red Delicious. I was down either way. As long as the apple had caramel on it, I was down. Just don't put nuts on it. Don't trick it up. Again, you don't need to trick up the good stuff, man. It's already greatness. You don't need to trick it up with all the fanciness and doing all this other stuff to it, man. All you people that go to these gourmet caramel apple stores, like gourmet caramel apples with watercress nuts and chocolate drizzle on it, you don't need all that, dude. Just some caramel and some apples. Come on, life is good there. But
I think our other host is ready to be brought back in.
Oh Lord! All right.
Costume number 2.
Facebook.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a series of dad jokes.
What a beating.
All right.
Okay. So now here's my 5.
Lord Vader is disappointed.
Well, Lord Vader, why don't you use the Force and take over?
I will.
Dude.
Okay. So
I should edit that in.
The candies, I think, Jay, growing up, you and I had we obviously experienced a lot of the same experiences and candies. Candied apples were on my list, as well as the caramel apples, Starburst as well, and Reese's Cups. I mean, who doesn't love Reese's Cups, particularly at Halloween time?
Yeah.
One of the things they started doing here recently, they weren't really a staple early on because they were more for Easter, but they started doing the Halloween Peeps. And Halloween and Christmas Peeps, and of course Easter Peeps, those are kind of my evil. I mean, my sin right there. I will hoard the Peeps.
I know that's right.
So when my blood sugar started becoming an issue, my wife and I made an agreement that during the hey, I think Lord Vader needs to go get his.
I got to take care of someone.
Yeah, he's got to go kill someone on the dark side. Anyway, so we agreed to have a limit, which is fine. I mean, she only buys, whatever our pre-agreed limit is, and I've learned how to be a little bit more judicious in how I eat my candies. But the Peep is a big time player at every holiday. But Halloween Peeps now have become one of my top favorites. And then I'm not necessarily the biggest chocolate guy either, but one of my other sinful delights is Mounds.
Oh, dude, I love Mounds. Yeah.
The chocolate, the coconut, the almond. I mean, man, it's.
Oh, hold on now. No.
I mean,
straight.
Almond Joy. That's
there
what I'm saying.
You go.
Almond Joy. Mounds are great too. Yeah, I love Mounds, but my favorites are Almond Joy. Because I like the little nut in there too. Yeah. So those are my favorites. Whether it's Almond Joy or Mounds, I can do either one of those. Now a quick hit on Jolly Ranchers, because I am a Jolly Rancher guy too, and occasionally, I don't buy them very often, but occasionally we'll get some. But back in school, before sugar became an evil and the school systems took them out, about every form or fashion, we used to have vending machines. You remember that, Jay? When we would have vending machines in the hallway, and I used to be able to go buy the Jolly Ranchers by the pack, right? Remember they had single packs that probably had, I don't know, 12 little Jolly Ranchers in there. And at our school, we were lucky that they kept restocking it with just the cherry flavor, which is a kind of all the flavors of the Jolly Ranchers, to me, cherry's my favorite. I mean, don't get me wrong, green apple's really good. Now they have blue raspberry, but cherry's my favorite flavor. And I would buy those packs, and I think they were like 50 cents a pack. And then I would sell the individual Jolly Rancher for a dime in class. Yeah. So that I would, one pack would get me basically about $1.20. So I could buy, I got to where I could buy 2 packs. I would sell 1 pack throughout the day to kids in class, because everybody would see me eating a Jolly Rancher. They would want one. So I charge them a dime for Jolly Rancher. So I basically funded my my candy fix throughout school by selling.
Yeah. And one of the greatest things that happened was when Sam's Clubs opened up, and you had parents who had a Sam's card, and the people that would go buy like the boxes of blow pops and sell them for like a quarter at school. You find that one dude who had the blow pop fix. There's just a good legacy of great candies that, like for me, it was always cool when you were a kid to get the mix of like the Snickers bars and the Three Musketeers and the, those are greatness. And for you parents that give out popcorn balls at Halloween,
damn.
And I'm speaking to y'all. You want to talk about Democrats, RJ? That's them right there.
Wow.
Because, dude, there's nothing worse than getting a damn popcorn ball for Halloween. Popcorn balls suck. They do, man. Popcorn balls they're terrible. Nobody likes them. They're horrible. They get stale. They taste gross. Man, it's just nobody likes popcorn balls. And and it was always the biggest treat was to find the people who would give out the full-size candy bars at Christmas time or at Halloween time, because those houses are very few and very far between.
Do you remember, Jay, when we used to make homemade
popcorn balls?
No. Popcorn balls.
Well, our mom used to make popcorn balls with that Rice
Krispie squares.
Yeah, Rice Krispie squares. Dude, Rice Krispie squares are awesomeness.
Yep.
But that they don't fall into that Halloween, kind of Halloween, only around Halloween time candies. No. And those variety packs, dude, the generic candies and stuff like that. When you're a kid and you come home with a big old bag of candy, right? first thing you do is you separate all the good stuff. You get all your name brand chocolates, get your Snickers bars, get your Three Musketeers, get your remember the ones that they used to do the individual, the crackles, dude. You can't find crackles anywhere.
Yeah.
And Mr. Good bars, you can't find Mr. Good bars anywhere. You can only get Mr. Good bars at Halloween in the
miniature packs.
in the mini packs.
Mini packs.
And then and really the only time I don't know anybody who eats a Hershey's bar other than at Halloween, because you get the little individual Hershey bars. Like
we do, because we'll get them and make s'mores. Like that's one of the things I like to do when it gets cold or when we go camping.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a special occasion like that, make some s'mores. I get that, but other than that, when do you ever really see anybody eat a Hershey's bar?
My girlfriend would like to have a word.
Well, Anna, I'm sorry if I offended you, but yeah, Hershey's bars are way down on the list.
For JJ.
Yeah, some of the great ones.
And I know he's going to say something about this. The best Hershey's, the cookies and cream.
Dude, again, God,
such greatness.
You're such a kid, man, because you grew up in the age of all these tricked up candies. Why do you? I don't understand the reason to having to trick up a Hershey's bar.
Another hot sports opinion: the flavored Tootsie Rolls are better than the original.
Okay. Whoa. All right. Now you're just crossing the line, dude, because I think you're intentionally trying to get a rise out of me, because I like the flavored Tootsie Rolls, but don't desecrate the greatness of the original Tootsie Roll, dude.
Yeah, I would agree that to me they're all greatness, but the one candy that you really don't find as much anymore, and Jay, you remember this because it used to be in just about every grocery store. I don't think I've seen one in a really long time. But Brock's Candy used to have a display that you could walk in and for a nickel or a quarter or whatever, buy the individual. I mean,
the sample.
Yes, and my favorites of those were called the caramel royals, right?
Yeah,
they were the caramel that had the different cream flavored fillings.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You remember those? You had raspberry. You had a chocolate,
orange.
Yes. Oh my God! And those were fantastic. I used to love when we would go to the grocery store with Mom, and we had pocket change. We'd go to that display, and you could mix and match. And remember, you could just put all kinds of different candies in there. They had
that one that was like
cherry sours.
What is it called? Neapolitan. It had the chocolate, the white coconut in the middle, and the strawberry at the end.
Yes,
those were good. Brock's caramels, dude. Brock's caramels were the greatest.
And you can't find them anymore. I don't know if the Brock's Candy went out of business or what, but and their butterscotch to me was the best butterscotch on the market.
Yeah, and the cinnamon discs.
Yeah, and their cinnamon discs.
I'm a big fan of cinnamon discs.
Yeah.
For me, I like hard candy more than chewy candy. Really, the only chewy candies that I eat are Starburst. Every now and then, saltwater taffy. When the fair comes around, I'll buy a box of saltwater taffy. But other than that, I'm not real big into chewy candies.
Yeah,
I like my candies I like to suck on them, and it's just the way it is. But the cinnamon disc was awesome.
You're a natural born sucker.
Boom, boom. All right. So calm down.
So boys, we've had lots of fun talking about candy.
One last thing.
No.
This one's not a hot sport opinion. It's just a thought.
What you got?
What if the houses that give out popcorn balls is really a strategy for you to not come back? If you think about it's genius.
I believe it, because I wouldn't go back to a house if I knew they were giving out popcorn balls. Who the hell wants a popcorn ball? That's the same thing as those people who gave out toothbrushes and toothpaste at Halloween. You people suck too.
Oh my gosh.
Damn. Well, anyways, that wraps up Candy Talk. Since I went first on Candy Talk.
All right. I'll go first on the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about our top 5
Take
favorite.
me off for
scary
5 seconds. Don't leave
Halloween
me off
movies,
for 5
right?
minutes.
5 seconds. All right.
It's a quick costume change.
All right. Here we go. Let's see what this dude's coming up with now.
Hopefully it's a Dodger sucks. The Dodgers suck.
All right, here we go. Oh God.
Oh my God.
I can already see this can be the lowest rated show we've ever done.
No, it's going to be the highest rated. This is greatness. You know you love it.
We actually might go viral for this one.
You know you love it.
Viral for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Well, hey, look, at the end of the day, if it gets us up to enough followers, I really don't give a damn.
All right. So
All right.
our top 5 favorite Halloween / scary movies.
So
Yeah.
I got to preface this by saying I'm not really the guy that's into the biggest, fright movies. I don't. Horror films are okay. I mean, sometimes they're scary, but sometimes to me they're just too formulaic. All it is just basically adding more gore,
Yeah.
or kind of some really cool scenes to it.
I'm with you, dude. I'm not about the gore in a movie.
Yeah.
Gory movies don't appeal to me.
There are a few. We watched the updated version of It over this past weekend. So, my list is probably going to sound weak to most people, especially if you're a huge fan of the horror film genre. That's just not who I am. But there are some films that I love watching, particularly every Halloween. And here's my list. All right. So, the 3 stalwarts that I don't ever mind watching, particularly Halloween time, are going to be Nightmare on Elm Street, but only the first couple. Yeah. I don't like when they start going into the later versions and they start going to all these, to me, they get a little crazy and bizarre on it. Same thing with Halloween, Michael Myers, the origin, and Friday the 13th, right? I mean, those are the horror movies that we know and love.
Yeah.
Are they the most enthralling for today's generation? Nah. Not really, right? But for us, they were horror. Now, these other ones, the other one that I kind of liked watching was Chucky, the original Chucky.
Oh, yeah, Child's Play.
Yeah, Child's Play. And then my 2 favorite movies that I love to watch, and it's just the kid in me, is Charlie Brown, Halloween.
The Great Pumpkin,
Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin.
Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin. I've got that movie on DVD. I'm about to be 50 this year. I have watched that movie every single year of my life. And what's sad is that I think Apple bought the rights now.
I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The Apple bought Charlie Brown, the Charlie Brown franchise, and now it's not streaming. It's not going to show on network TV for the first time in over 50 years.
Right.
And that's horrible. That's just horrible.
Well, I have an Apple TV, which came with a year subscription to their program. So you guys can come watch it at my house.
I don't need to. I'm like your dad. I bought it. We have
it on DVD.
All my DVDs. I'm out of the DVD business, dude. I'm all about Vudu. That's why I store all my movies on Vudu. And I own the Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, and it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Because those are ones that me and my wife watch every year anyway. So. I don't need to worry about streaming them on Apple TV, but for the kids who don't have Apple TV or aren't able to go buy it, it's usually a yearly ritual or rite to sit down and watch Charlie Brown on ABC or whatever channel it used to come out on. And now for the first time in 50 years, they're not going to be able to do that. That absolutely sucks of Apple, dude. It just does.
And the last movie that I enjoy watching, and this was kind of because the father in me watching it, my wife, and not so much my sons, they've watched it too, but more my daughter is.
Yeah, definitely not me. Yep, I knew it.
Yeah,
I love Hocus.
I do too.
I know it's Bette Midler in that. She's awesome.
I love Bette Midler, dude.
Oh, I do too. And
She's
that's
awesome.
I love that movie. So every Halloween, I look forward to Hocus Pocus coming on. We'll watch it multiple times throughout because it's one of those movies that's always on.
Yeah.
And they'll loop it. So, but yeah, those are my favorite Halloween movies.
Awesome. Well, I'll go next just because you came up with the my list of Halloween movies is kind of similar to yours. Hocus Pocus is it was my number 5 Halloween movie. It's one that I really only watch around Halloween. Now my wife watches it throughout the year. It's another movie that we purchased just because she loves that movie. But yeah, that's one of my favorite Halloween movies. Just because, Halloween doesn't necessarily need to be about blood and gore,
Right.
It doesn't. Halloween for us as a kid, it was a fun holiday. You get to play dress up, you get to play make believe. And one of those, things that's prevalent around that time are witches and witches, the Hocus Pocus. So I'm going to move on to number 4. One of my favorite Halloween movies to watch, and I only really watch it around Halloween, is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Wow.
I like Jack Skellington.
Skellington.
I can't say his name, but
Jack Skellington.
There you go. I love that movie. It's fun. It's animated. It's it's even though it kind of mixes Christmas and Halloween at the same time.
Yeah.
I watch it around Halloween time. I don't watch it around Christmas. So that's one of my favorite. Now, as far as scary movies go, I'm like you, bro. I'm not a big fan of gore. Mm-hmm. And I think when you go back and you look at some of the older scary movies that we saw when, movies like, I don't know if you remember, we had an aunt that showed us the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah.
Remember we darkened the den.
Yep.
And we put covers over the door so that no light came in. Yeah. We had the big screen TV in there and we watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. But when it comes to Halloween movies and movies that actually scared me, this one movie, when I saw it for the first time, it scared me, freaked me out. Because
Let me guess before you announce.
Yeah.
Was it Xanadu?
Oh my gosh.
No. Dude, it was not Xanadu. Was the Blair Witch Project.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was the first time that I ever saw that movie. I saw it at the theater and it was freaky. It was because it's one of the first movies that did kind of that whole documentary / mockumentary type film. It was all done through a handheld camera. It's kind of like in the wake of what's that movie, Cloverfield, if you've ever seen that one.
Yep. That's another good one.
And the ending of it, when the girl is on there, she's crying, it's got the snot running and everything's all, and the camera's shaking. Dude, it was a scary ass movie when I first saw it.
Yeah.
I've seen it several times since then. It's not nearly as scary, but it freaked you out the first time you saw it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my number 2 movie, Nightmare on Elm Street, was one of my favorites as a kid. As a teenager, seeing that one. And my number 1 movie, Halloween movie of all time, is Halloween. I love that movie. It's I've seen it so many times. It's stupid now.
Yeah.
But the first couple times you see it, if you've never seen it before, it's a little weird. And the fact that it was done, what's her name when she was a teenager?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, yeah, dude, when she was 18. It's probably one of the first movies you saw as a kid growing up where you got to see boobs. That's what made it awesome. The teen slasher flicks. Now, nudity is still prevalent in movies nowadays. It's almost, you get desensitized to it. But, when you're 16, 17 and you didn't have all the avenues that you had to see that kind of stuff growing up, you go see a movie like that, it was awesome. Even though that boob got cut up and stuff, but still greatness for me.
Oh God.
So those are my top 5 favorite scary / Halloween movies. RJ?
All righty. Well, I'm sure my list is going to be mostly movies that you guys probably don't know. But I'll preface it by saying I'm not the biggest gore fan either. Because even with special effects, I mean, like Roll was saying, is that there's only so many ways you can make a movie, with in that formula. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just slashing and blood. It doesn't at some point it just gets so repetitive. It doesn't really matter what the storyline is. So
Yeah.
I would consider myself more of a fan of like psycho thrillers.
Mm-hmm.
Now sometimes they will have gore in them, but gore is not the main point, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and these aren't in any order because I mean, I love horror movies. So picking out top 5 was kind of hard for me to begin with.
Yeah.
So ranking them would have been even harder. But Saw, I love the Saw series.
Yeah. I saw the original.
Especially yeah. Well, and especially as you get deeper in the series and you learn, more about how it all begins and the reasoning behind, why the people are selected and everything, without giving spoilers away. But I think there was a sense of morality to it, but also I just love the movies.
So here's a real big confession for me. I've never seen any of the Saw movies ever.
I kind of figured.
Never seen one of them.
I'm actually kind of surprised that my dad had seen it, to be honest with you. But so that's the first one. Like I said, not ranked. Number 2, I don't know if you guys would know this one either. Silent Hill.
I've heard of it. I think I part of it actually.
It's not really. I wouldn't say it's a gory movie.
No, it's not.
And honestly, it's more just it's a crazy movie. But I like it for some reason. It's probably not the best acting, but something about me. I've seen that movie so many times, even outside of Halloween. I can't really explain it, but that's the next one for me. This is a more recent one. I think it came out in 2014. Don't quote me on that, but The Babadook.
No,
it's about a lady who's, I believe she becomes widowed and she has a son, or maybe even divorced. But they're haunted by this figure from this book that she's reading to her son. That's probably not the best description I can give it, but it's been some time since I've seen it. For some reason, it really stuck with me. The next one, let's see, Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
I've seen Silence. Yeah, that one's a good movie, and I've seen it
actually.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times, and I don't mind watching it multiple times. Obviously, so
it is liver with a side of fava beans and a nice Chianti. Great.
So, man, it's such a great movie. And then the last one, I know you guys aren't gonna know. I actually just when my sister came over to spend some time with me, she watched it with me. It's As Above, So Below. So the premise is, they go into the French catacombs, looking for the sorcerer. Well, it kind of. I was telling my dad it kind of ties into Harry Potter somewhat, but not really. It's just the fact that the person Nicholas Flamel from the first Harry Potter, they're chasing the same stone that's mentioned in Harry Potter, and so they have to go throughout the catacombs of Paris, and it gets really creepy, and essentially they end up finding the entrance to hell. And I don't want to say too much other than that because I feel like that's giving quite a bit away, but it's once again another one that I've seen multiple times, and I really enjoy watching it. So that's my top 5. Not the biggest, what they would consider slasher fan. Like I said, I'm more of the psycho thriller.
Yeah, psycho thrillers are good. I can watch a good psycho thriller movie, as long as it's not overly gory. Just because you like a good jump scare every now and then. But we've become so desensitized to violence and things like that it's really hard to scare a lot of people now. But yeah, a good jump scare is always great, and I think Silence of the Lambs was a really, really good psychological thriller, man. That one was Buffalo Bill and the whole and the fact that it's based on a true story, I think makes it all the more all the more great when you start to watch and you get into the story and things like that. Same thing with like
real quick. Take me off so I can change into my last costume of the
Okay,
night.
last costume change of the night. Same thing with like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, it's not, you know, an exact, but it is based on a true story. So, you know, whenever you see things like that, those kind of thrillers and horror movies are far more apt to like catch my attention than say Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, or Friday the 13th.
And you know, I do enjoy when a horror movie is kind of based off a true story, but and obviously they're exaggerated, right? So
yeah, of course.
and that's what I was gonna say is about Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, you know, even though you know, like, okay, it wasn't like this. I mean, to think that there's a what is this?
Well, keep going. I'm going to reveal it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The scariest one. You ready?
Yeah.
You know, my whole thought was, oh God, what is this?
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
No,
God.
the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Oh,
Damn.
Wow, I thought everybody would get that.
damn.
Jerry, you hear that? You hear that, Jerry?
Yeah. So what's actually happening now is every time Roland says something bad about the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones is watching our podcast, and that name goes into a little hopper. And so when the next time Roland goes to buy a ticket to a Cowboy game, and that credit card name pulls up, all of a sudden all his transactions are going to start being denied.
You can just always buy them off a scalper.
Yeah, but they got your dad's pictures up at the gates now, dude.
Damn.
Tries to walk in, they're like, "Stop this Mexican."
Well, I just want to say to any of our followers that watch this episode, if there's any horror movies that you recommend for me, go ahead and drop them in the comments or on our Facebook page, whatever platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to check them out.
You know,
Or more importantly, if you liked my costumes on this episode, give me a huge like. I mean, these were really good.
and if you did like your costumes, I've got a number to a nice psychologist you can talk to, because you obviously.
Man, why y'all gotta hate? Why y'all gotta hate? That's what
I was gonna dress up as a Cowboys player, but I was afraid they might watch the video and give me a call to try out. Because you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're taking any applications right now.
Wow.
Well, I was going to dress up as Mike Nolan, but I thought somebody might want to take a shot at me, so I've decided.
Damn.
All right, boys. Well, that's our show for tonight. Thank you for joining us for the Halloween edition of the Now That You Mention It podcast. Had a lot of fun. Like RJ said, if you've got a good suggestion for a nice psychological thriller / horror movie that's not, overly gory, I'm down. I'm always looking to find a nice, my wife is a big fan of scary movies, so she's always wanting to watch a scary movie right before bed. Of course, and I absolutely deny that, because and then she wakes me up in the middle of the night because she's got nightmares going. So yeah, no scary movies before bedtime, but yeah. And then, let's hear your opinion on the candies. Let's hear your Halloween candies, your favorites. I know I'm going to get trashed for the whole candy corn being ranked so high, my number one candy, but whatever. I love candy corns, but let's hear your opinion. Talk to us. Let's drop some comments in the on the Facebook page. But if you follow us on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Click the little bell so you can get our content when our notification when our new content comes out. You can follow our audio only again on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, and iHeartRadio. Give our Facebook page some love. Go give our Instagram page some love. Go hit up our Reddit page. Let's hear your opinion. I'm really curious to see what y'all think about what our Halloween candy list, and I'd like to get yours. So hit us up, and thank you for joining us, and we appreciate it.
And don't forget to vote that I had the best costume out of the three of us, because it's no comparison. I mean, this Harry Potter up here, this has been
to the dark side
4 or 5 times, and Darth Vader. I mean, that's a Walgreens special right here. This was ingenuity. That's a
Walgreens special if I ever seen one.
Man,
you probably just went and brought note cards from. First of all, those are note cards from Walgreens, and I know that headband was from one of those what do you call games? Those headband games.
All right. Well, Lord of Darkness, the Hood Darth Vader. This is Middle Management Harry Potter signing off for another week. We really appreciate your time, guys, and don't forget to go out and vote. And don't forget, we couldn't do this without you, Jesse P. It's not possible.
Come to the dark side.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Happy Halloween,
everyone.
everybody.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.